Like, yes and no. Let me explain. On one hand, looking at the positive side, you had some pretty damn good games that came out during this generation. Coming from PlayStation this generation, you had console exclusives like God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Stellar Blade, Ghost of Yote, Death Stranding 2, Astrobot, and Ratchet & Clank just off the top of my head. On the Nintendo side of things, while also dropping the Switch 2, they had some exclusives such as Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, Super Mario RPG Remake, and the upcoming Dusk Bloods, just to name a few. On the Xbox side of things, you have Forza. Along with some pretty great first-party games, the third-party games were just as good. Metaphor ReFantazio, Resident Evil Village and Requiem, Monster Hunter Wilds, Hades 2, remakes such as the Dead Space remake or Persona 3 Reload, Split Fiction, and Expedition 33. Hardware-wise, the 9th generation of consoles were pretty good in my opinion, as they had some pretty powerful hardware and brought pretty good features, I'd say. Another positive thing about this generation has been, damn it. Yeah, despite the positives of this generation, or lack thereof, there has been a lot of cons too. The rise in prices have been egregious. And there has been real world shit going on with this, such as tariffs and AI affecting the prices, especially with the RAM shortage. But my lord, these consoles are getting way too goddamn expensive. A few years after the PS4 came out, you could get it for like what, 200, 300 bucks? Nowadays, the people that waited for the PS5 to drop in price, god damn, this shit is $650 now. And don't even get me started on the Pro, that shit, hold on, let me look it up real quick. That shit is $900. Then you have the Series S being $400, the Series X being $750. It's just crazy all around, dude. I've mentioned this before, but you might as well get a PC. But I'd recommend a pre-build nowadays from a good company since, good lord, even trying to build a PC has gotten more expensive. With RAM prices going up, GPU prices going up, it's a whole mess. Another point I've seen floating around is the games that came out this generation. Now, like I've said, most of the games that came out this generation have been amazing. They've been great. But as I was going through Instagram one time, I noticed a good point by a creator named Lord Iro, to where even though the first party games have been great, there haven't really been any generation defining exclusives. Think about it, right? Sequels like Ghost of Yote, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, they're all great games. But they play it very safe with the sequels. They have improvements in gameplay and graphics and all that, but usually with sequels there's a big innovative jump from the first game to the second game. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, Half-Life 1 to Half-Life 2, or even jumps with the third game like GTA 2 to GTA 3, or Fallout 2 to Fallout 3. However, with this generation, not only has the sequels have been very safe, but I wouldn't say any first party exclusive from this generation have been generation defining. Maybe we have to give them more time or something, I don't know. But there's never been a game where you see the game and you're like, oh, I need this PS5 or I need this Series X. Most of the games I would consider generation defining are third party games, like Elden Ring or the aforementioned Expedition 33. Especially since this generation has been filled with remakes, remasters, ports most of the time. Either that or you end up just booting up your previous Xbox One games or your PS4 games on your new system. Which isn't a bad thing at all, but at the same time, we came to play the new games. Another point is presumably Sony ending physical games in 2028. Now, I already made a whole video with my thoughts on this, but to summarize it here, we should always have a choice whether or not we want to go digital or physical, especially since with physical you actually own your games. And even if you want to go all digital, that's fine. But that's the thing, only if you want to, you should have that option. If you're forced to do it, that makes things a whole lot worse. The companies get to control everything, such as the games on store or the pricing of the games, and you only have the licenses, not the actual game itself. At least with PC, you can do a lot more with the games you downloaded. Hell, GOG is a great spot if you want to own your games. You can even make your own physical PC games. Couple all these points with tons of layoffs, anti-consumer practices, it's rough. This generation has definitely been rough. At the same time though, there's been a ton of great, so it's difficult to say if this is one of the worst or the worst generation. Either way, hopefully it does get better, because it's been too much negative news nowadays with gaming. We all want to see something positive for a change, you know? Thankfully though, there's always games to play, especially when it comes to your backlog. So if you want to know any tips or tricks on how to clear your backlog, go ahead and click the video on screen.